Mainstream media is coming under some examination in the wake of the deadly shooting rampage at Washington's Navy Yard on Monday. The swarm of reporters and their cameras seemed to vanish pretty quickly. They moved on in a day or two time, a lot faster than other similar tragedies. Why is that? Kirsten Powers joins us, Daily Beast columnist, Lauren Ashburn, editor-in-chief of the Daily Download. Both are Fox News contributors. Good to see you both. You know, what got us thinking was this article or column by Paul Farhi in the Washington Post. And he posed the question not only as to why the media moved on, but why the American public seemed to move on. And we could see that with ratings. Kirsten, why do you think that is?
I don't really know. It's something I had thought about a couple days ago, realizing that it wasn't getting quite the coverage that it has in the past. And it is possible, Paul Farhi went through all the different reasons that made each of the past tragedies newsworthy, whether it's, involved children or it's in a movie theater, and so it makes everybody feel like it could affect them. But at the same time, I feel like there was a time where if something like this happened, that it would really have dominated our news. And I do wonder if it isn't just becoming too routine, that people are starting to become almost numb to the idea that this is what our society is like now, that people just show up and shoot people. I mean, that's the best theory I can come up with.
What about that, Lauren? There have been, and our brain room looked this up, 19 mass shootings since President Obama took office. I wonder if we've reached some sort of saturation threshold level where, we're immune or even desensitized to what's happening.
Well, I think in part that's true, but there's another interesting angle to this, and that's the mental health angle. Did you know that according to the National Institute of Mental Health that 1 in 4 adults have been diagnosed each year with mental health disorders? And in the military, it is active duty troops. 65% of active duty troops, there's been an increase since 2000. Yeah. So my thinking behind this is that maybe mental health issues aren't as sexy as other kinds of issues. You can't go, gun control is much more interesting to the public. Obviously, if there's a terrorist attack, that's much more interesting. If, as Kirsten said, if there are children involved. But part of me wonders, part of me wonders if, okay, we know what happened to this guy, we know he was hearing voices, we know that he wasn't in being taken care of in terms of background checks, and then we moved on.
Yeah, I mean, sort of, and it's tragically too recent and often another case of somebody who has mental problems engaging in acts of mass violence. The other thing is that, and the president got a lot of criticism for this, while the events were still unfolding, Kirsten, on Monday, he goes out and he delivers this pre-planned speech, which was very, very lengthy, and just a slice of it, really, was about what was still going on. And let me just play a clip of that. It's not the full remarks of what the president said about the shipyard shooting, but here's part of it.
Obviously, we're going to be investigating thoroughly what happened, as we do so many of these shootings, sadly, that have happened, and do everything that we can to try to prevent them. Now, in recent weeks, much of our attention has been focused on the events in Syria.
And then he talked at great length about Syria, the economy, health care, and gave a partisan tongue lashing to Republicans. Do the media sort of take their cue from the president? He moved on pretty quickly. The American public, do they take their cue that way too?
I don't think that has anything to do with it. And also, if you look at the full transcript of the speech, he said quite a bit more about the shooting based on what they knew at that time. And at that time, I don't think they even knew that more than one person had been killed, being the shooter, I think. So
no. This was unfolding. I was anchoring at the time. It was widely reported there were many, many more deaths, and it was still
but it was unfolding, and they didn't really know, what had happened. And he did talk, I thought, quite movingly about, these are patriots, these are, this is an, attack on our military workers, and then he moved on. And, I guess he could have scrapped the event. I mean, I felt like what he said was appropriate, but maybe they should have scrapped the event once they saw this was unfolding.
After Newtown, of course, there was a tremendous effort, especially by the president, to change gun laws, Lauren. no such effort now. Is that simply because he lost on Capitol Hill?
That's exactly right. I think he fought that battle, and he's on to fight another battle, Obamacare. And we just saw that the House passed the resolution, and so I think he knows that he's not going to win that fight,
right,
and therefore he doesn't address it. And when it comes to gun control issues, there weren't a lot of people during this time who kept that alive. I mean, Bill O'Reilly last night was still talking about it, and he was talking about it the night before, but it didn't catch on, possibly because it was only a rifle. I don't know.
All right. Lauren Ashburn, Kirsten Powers, good to see you both. Thanks for your